music talk show. Brought to you by Rich's Music Exchange in Hamburg, New York, and online at richesmusicexchange.com. Sponsored by music industry leaders Regal Tip, Ernie Ball, Ampeg, and Mackie. And now, your hosts, Rich Rogenmoser and co-host, The Doctor.
Hi, folks. Welcome down to the East Coast premier music talk show. My name is Rich Rogenmoser. As always, my sidekick, the trusty Robin to my Batman.
The Robin to your Batman, the Bert to your Ernie, I'm trying to think of the Golden Girls characters.
I don't know, but we're trying to get these new studios to work, and they've done a fantastic job over here at the Breeze by building opulent studios as per Joshua's specs. Golden toilet seats.
Golden toilet seats. It makes me feel really bad about my aim.
He's got a desk, and inside it, if you open it up, there's Mars bars. It's full of Mars bars and stickers.
Actually,
and
every drawer of that desk. Are you okay over there?
Did you hear that? I just opened up the vault.
Yeah,
Did you hear that? Let me open up the vault again. I'm going to open up the vault one more time. Check it out. You hear that? That's the vault here, because this used to be Wet Studios. So there's a vault. But
anyways, every drawer of that dresser has a different kind of candy bar in it.
It's a wonderful dresser. It really is. It's more like a dresser. It's really like a desk.
It's a rich mahogany.
Mahogany. Okay, folks. Welcome down to the show. We've got things rocking and rolling. Today's show is absolutely going to be fantastic. We're going to be joined in the second hour by a girl named Jasmine Kanan. I get a lot of stuff sent to me all the time. Somebody forwarded me a link on Jasmine Kane, who is a rock and roll girl. She's sponsored, endorsed by Warwick, basses and amplifiers. She makes her living, though, playing at bike rallies, which is kind of, you'd think that's not really where you want your daughter to make her living. So we're going to talk to Jasmine.
I can think of worse places for your daughter to make a living.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And I'm sure bike rallies have a bad connotation maybe for people, but she has a riot and she loves it, and she's an excellent rock and roller, and we're going to have her on. In a little while, at the 15 past, we're going to have a couple fellows in who made a movie called Boyd. And these guys are really interesting. They're Western New York guys. Mm-hmm. It's Bobby, Chris, and Matt are going to be joining us. They've made a series of short films, and at the Cannes Film Festival, we're going to talk to them about this. They had a decent amount of success with their first time entering it.
Yeah, with a film called 48 Hours to Live. It was a short film. This film that they're coming out with, Boyd, is actually their first full-length film. But we're going to talk to them about that, and we're having a contest of people, local acts here, to get their music into Boyd.
That's right. So what they're doing with the movie Boyd is they have a few spots that they want to fill with some original music. And they were nice enough to come to us because they're Western New York guys and it's a Western New York film. They wanted to get some Western New York music in there. So we've had people like Jimmy Crean and 100 Proof Justice and Mick Hayes, Anna Tara, Wanted by the FBI. They have dropped some original music off to the Music Exchange, and we've handed it over to the producers of this film, and we're hoping that maybe one of these cuts are going to be what they're looking for in this film. But there's going to be enough time this week, if you still have some if you have some original music, get it over to the Music Exchange, 4514 Camp Road in Hamburg, and we are going to get all this stuff over to these guys and see if we can get your song in this movie. What do you think about that, Josh?
I think that's super cool that these guys want to get original local music in the movie, and I think it's amazing that we got the response that we did from the Buffalo music community.
And the funny thing is, we didn't go to air yet. I just posted it on Facebook,
yeah.
And a whole bunch of folks dropped some stuff off. And it's really quality stuff. All the stuff that's come in so far is quality stuff. One other thing, too, though, if you are going to be dropping off a disc and you're dropping off some music, and we want to encourage everybody to do this, if you're dropping something off, though, it's got to be radio ready. It doesn't have to have artwork or any of that other stuff, but it's got to be radio ready stuff. In other words, they don't have time for you to go back in the studio and re-record it. They're under the gun because their premiere is April 7th.
Yeah, at the Hamburg Palace.
That's cool. I mean, these are Buffalo guys. This is pretty cool. So if you got radio ready music, bring it in to us, and we'll see what's going to happen. Who didn't shut their cell phone off?
In these opulent studios here, and someone forgets to shut their cell phone off.
Who did not shut their cell phone off because they're going to die?
As you are reaching for yours.
Shh.
You're just a mess today.
I think my cell phone's in the vault.
You got it over there? It's in the Mars bar.
It's not mine.
Just let it go to voicemail.
This is good radio.
This is awesome radio.
This is good radio. Find the cell phone that's ringing in my studio.
Anyways.
Oh, that's mine.
Is it yours? We have to welcome our new engineer. Last week we had Tyrone with us. Again, when we left...
Tyrone was horrible.
Tyrone
Can
was
I just
really
say, that guy can barely read.
My ears were ringing from the headphone volume.
Yeah, my left ear is actually ringing from you. I can't even hear myself today, so this new guy, I don't know what he's doing.
We've been trying. We're going to try for the month, and we're going to try to keep one engineer. We're going to
turn it into, like I said, we should do a reality show where I'm basically handing out roses to the engineer that I want to stay. That's how we're going to do it.
That's right. That's right.
The Bacheloneer.
Who do we have today with us?
Over in the other, we have Cyrus over there today.
Cyrus?
Cyrus is our new...
Welcome, Cyrus.
Hello.
Cyrus is joining us. Cyrus was having a lot of problems earlier. I noticed, the thing with Cyrus seemed to be a problem solver.
Yeah, his name is Cyrus Jones over here. He is a problem solver.
And actually, we were late, as usual, and...
Speak for yourself, my friend.
That's true. You're right. I was late, as usual. And Cyrus was able to fix a bunch of problems. Actually, we had Josh come into the studio and just switch a bunch of wires around. And this is part of the test, part of the game that Josh has put forward. Maybe these guys could film it like a reality show.
Like, what can Josh destroy in the studio?
Well, and then it's the engineer's job to come in
and
under fire and fix it so that we can go to air at 7 p.m.
I like it.
And he did a good job.
We should also, I was watching that show, Storage Wars. You ever seen it?
You know what? So I wanted to talk to you, and I had a segment I wanted to talk to you about later, but we might as well do it now. All these stupid reality shows, there's so many dumb reality shows.
Well, I was watching Storage Wars earlier today, and I was thinking, how great would it be? I would love to just hide in the back of one of those storage units, and, they buy it, and, they're digging through it, and I just bust out, and scare the crap out of them.
And just scare people?
I think we should do that.
The premise of Storage Wars is they have about 6 or 8 Bufords that make their living by going and buying storage, used store facilities. They've defaulted on their facility.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay for a storage facility for like a year or something, they have an auction, and they open up the door. You're not allowed to dig through and see what's in there. You can just stand outside.
You can look, and then they auction it off. And I mean, some of these storage units will go for a couple $1,000s. Some of them go for a couple $100. But then once you buy it, you can then dig through the junk. And then it's about these people finding, valuable things.
Oh, it's way more than that. It's about the relationship of the characters with each other.
Yeah.
Because one of them is really good at it.
Yeah.
And one guy's just getting into it. And one guy's involved his fiance or something, and now they're kind of having
baby mama.
Yeah, that's right. So it is just a dramatic excellence. I feel
it is so dramatic. I heard that the producers actually they put stuff in those lockers.
Have you seen Swamp People? Have you seen that one?
Is this the one where they're digging? Is this the one where they're hunting alligators, or where they're catfishing with their arms?
All I've ever done is seen the trailers for it. I think they're hunting alligators. It's very funny though. Just the trailers alone. The Moonshiners one is funny. There is absolutely no written and directed TV anymore. It is just these nonsensical reality shows. And this is why society is getting dumber and dumber.
You want to talk about some good TV that I saw this week?
Sure, what'd you see?
Springsteen on Fallon.
Ooh, I seen that too.
Friday night, Springsteen absolutely destroyed the Jimmy Fallon show.
And it's funny too, because you and I have talked about this. I had given up on Springsteen, and I was okay with it. I'm a humongous Springsteen fan. I've gone to Jersey and seen him. The lovely Kid Marie and myself have gone. We've had Max Weinberg on the show, and I felt it was okay at this point for Springsteen to just be Springsteen.
He's 63. You were sort of in the mode that, he's 63. Let him get by on his merits, and let him finish out his career just basically on his merits.
Yeah, I mean, and he's contributed enough, I felt, and his live shows are still stellar. The absolute best live show you're going to see, period,
without a doubt,
is a Bruce Springsteen concert. So I felt, I'm comfortable with this. The last few albums have been kind of,
yeah, hit and miss. There's a tune here and there that
maybe solid, one tune out of the last 4, I think.
Yeah,
that were even okay. But you had been talking about the new album.
I've been raving to you about the new album for about a week or two because I've been hearing tracks off it each day.
But the first song that they released, We Take Care of Our Own, I wasn't thrilled with that.
Neither was I. But so I started hearing more of the album, and I was telling you got to hear this stuff. This stuff is great.
Yeah.
But so Friday night, I mean, it was a whole week of Springsteen Week on Fallon. But Friday night, Springsteen was the only guest. They performed 3 songs, I guess 4 if you count the skit that he did. But I
didn't see the skit. I tuned in late. What was the skit?
They did "Sexy and I Know It" with how he does the Neil Young and Bruce comes out. But they did "Sexy and I Know It." And then Bruce came out, and first song he did was "Death to My Hometown," which is a rockin'. It's got like this Celtic horn line to it. The
whole thing is very Celtic. Yeah.
But it's a rockin' tune. I mean, he just rocked the studio with that. And then the second tune he played, which is I feel like one of the best tunes that Springsteen's written in a while. That Jack of All Trades.
Yeah.
It's a brilliantly written song.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really liked it. I like both songs.
Yeah.
And especially since I sat there in awe of him, just watching this and thinking, man, he really still can do this. And the theme of the album, the underlying current of the album, is basically his anger with what's going on in the United States today. Mm-hmm. Where when I heard that we take care of our own, I was kind of thrown because it's like, I don't see how this is angry, and I don't know what you're really talking about in this song. But the other two, you could definitely see that current going through the album.
And I mean, there's other tunes on the album. There's a song called "Shackled and Drawn," where the song is about you lose it and everything you sort
You've
of.
heard the whole album.
I've heard the whole album. I actually have it with me.
So we're gonna play some cuts out of it later.
Yeah, we'll come out of some bumps with it, but yeah, I mean, it's a great album from.
How do you rank the album? What do you think?
I think it's the best in decades.
Really?
I like it better than anything that's come out since 2000.
Springsteen wise or anybody wise?
No, I mean Springsteen wise. I mean I thought The Rising was a decent album.
So did I. I think it was the last good one.
I think it's better than The Rising. I like it better than The Rising.
What about the classic, Born to Run, The River, stuff like that?
I think that's sort of, untouchable.
But is it in that category?
I mean, those albums to me are sort of, on a different class in their own, but I would put it in like a class right underneath it, of Springsteen stuff. Where, I mean, I don't think he'll ever put out another Born to Run or, The River or, the early stuff. But, I mean, I think it's up there. I mean, it's a great album.
I'm amazed at his ability to still write songs like a common man.
You know what? I thought that too, and I was actually, my girlfriend Nicole was watching it at the same time I was, and she's actually here today. But I was going to text her.
Nicole's here?
Nicole is somewhere around
this
time.
Nicole.
Oh, there she is. I was going to text her as we were watching it, because we were texting as we were watching it. I was going to say, I can't believe, that he can still write, like a common man.
He can. It's funny because you're going to not believe this when I compare these two. Him and Mick Jagger, for some reason, I mean, and Mick's been rich for 40 years, 50 years. Yeah. Ridiculously rich. But he still has the ability to write like every man, just like a normal man. Springsteen, I don't know where it comes from.
The guy doesn't need to work another day in his life.
No.
He could do nothing. I mean, the guy does not need money. But you listen to it, and the fury and the hurt that comes out through the song of a guy losing his job and just trying to do what he can to get his family through it. It feels real. It feels like Springsteen's really trying to figure out a way to put food on the table.
Kim Marie was playing some stuff for me yesterday, some live Springsteen stuff, and you were listening to him tell stories, and
I think she stole that album from me.
I don't think that he ever worked in a factory, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he's just been a musician his whole life, but for some reason, he's really in tune with that end of the way things work, and he's amazing. He's just truly amazing.
Yeah, and I know the album that you're talking about because it was stolen and it's come up missing in the last couple of days, and now I know Kim Marie has it. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing that the stories that he can tell with the life that he actually does lead.
Yeah, I mean it's cool too if you know the history on him. He I think it was in the late '80s, early '90s. He married a model for a real short period of time. He moved to Hollywood, and his whole image changed. And I think he really felt he wasn't being true to himself. Mm-hmm. And he moved. He wanted to move back to Jersey. I think they did move back to Jersey, and he wanted to be in his hometown. Then he ended up saying, I just don't need this whole model life, and they got divorced. Mm-hmm. He wrote an album during his divorce, a solo album, and it was just brilliant. I mean, brilliant. and ever since then, he's kind of back to where he should be. I did think, though, I still think at certain times he does rest on the laurels of being Bruce Springsteen.
I see. You say he rests on laurels. I mean, Bruce Springsteen's Bruce Springsteen. That's why he is Bruce Springsteen. So I don't know if he's resting on the laurels. He might just be being himself.
Very good point.
I mean? That's why he's considered who he is.
We have to head to a commercial break quickly. I got to ask you this: how annoying is Jimmy Fallon when Bruce Springsteen's in the room?
He's like a little kid.
He's like
but you know what? I would be like the same way. But
But you know what he did? He did a week with them. Was it last year?
It wasn't a full week, but he did have him on the show a couple years ago. It might have been last year when The Promise came out.
Yeah, so
it was probably early last year.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not like he doesn't know the guy and hasn't been on his show, but he just acts like a child.
Yeah, he's like a little kid. He's like, yeah, he's always fidgeting and stuff.
Did you see him
at the end? Yeah, they were doing E Street Shuffle at the end, and you see Jimmy Fallon in the background. He's just got a cowbell, and he looks like a little kid. He's all freaking out and happy because he's hanging out with Bruce.
Well, we're going to head to a commercial break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to have the makers of the movie Boyd with us. Stick around.